So there's been this recent social media trend that I thought for once I'd actually get involved with one of these. People doing a Mount Rushmore of, Disney Channel stars that meant a lot to them. So of course, Rushmore rules, there's only four people, so you have to pick four people. I'm gonna break the rules a little bit with that. I have a couple of these spots that are ties. But let's start with number four. Bridget Midler. Um, I apologize if I pronounced her last name wrong. I'm not ever sure if you're supposed to say it Bridget Midler or Midler, but I always say Midler. She, of course, we'll talk about this one in a minute, but, you know, she was a big star to me because, of course, she was in Wizards of Waverly Place, which we'll talk about later on the list. And then you also got, Good Luck Charlie. Now, Good Luck Charlie was probably one of the last Disney Channel shows that I remember, like, me and my family all enjoying and laughing and have a good time with. And everybody felt like it watched that show because it was a good show. And honestly, I still watch that show on Disney Plus. There's a couple other Disney Channel shows that meant a lot to me that I revisit, but they're not like that one where they're super fun to revisit. Like, honestly, I don't get a lot out of revisiting the other ones other than just tickling that nostalgia boner, where Good Luck Charlie is actually like a good show that still holds up. It's not like perfect by any means, but it's actually like a good show. Like, if you're like, man, I just want a fun family sitcom to check out, that's a good one. And it actually feels like a show that it could have aired on a different network that wasn't just a kids network, and it would have worked. I mean, they have like sex jokes in that show. It's a little more mature in its rate in a lot of its content and themes. I mean, there's jokes about certain characters voting and things like that. There's all kinds of like great jokes to that show. It makes it actually hold up, and the characters actually age and grow up with you. So felt like at a certain point when the show was ending was kind of almost like when I was not quite getting out of Disney Channel, but was almost there. I mean, I was kind of watched Disney Channel after that just because I had siblings and we watched cable a lot and they were younger than me. So some of the shows that they were watching, I kind of grew up with by proxy. But this was one of the last shows that I feel like I really remember being tuned in when the finale came and watching all the episodes as they came out, even if I didn't necessarily watch from the beginning. So that's Good Luck Charlie. Bridget Midler. Number four, like I said, this is where I'm going to start breaking the rules. I'm going to put two people, but they are both equally important, and I feel like they both represent the same thing. Dan Povenmire, of course, the creator of Phineas and Ferb and voice of Dr. Doofenshmirtz. And then I'm going to put Alex Hirsch on this list, the creator of Gravity Falls, of course, voice of Grunkle Stan, Bill Cipher, many, many, many other characters in that show. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I can't. Phineas and Ferb was the one. I feel like one of the first cartoons I remember actually being obsessed with as a child. I remember, true story. My dad and I, I literally was like, Dad, there's a new episode of Phineas and Ferb tonight, because I kept seeing all these ads for it, and then it ended up being not till next week, and we checked to watch it, and it wasn't there, and he's like, yeah, sorry, buddy, it's next week. I was like, ah, I was so upset. And then I remember, watching the Across the Second Dimension movie, and as that movie came out, and I still have the DVD back there, behind the pop out finish. I've had the CD for the Second Dimensions, and a couple other. I think I had another Phineas and Ferb CD, which I don't have anymore. But I used to listen to the crap out of those. Still listen to Phineas and Ferb's music. And I still watch episodes, and I remember a shit ton of them, so many running jokes, and it's still a good show. I watched the new episodes they put out, too, because it's still fucking running somehow. But it's a great show. Gravity Falls, was another one of the first, like, more mature cartoons I remember getting really interested in. I was watching it before the show even premiered. I actually watched it when they just put up, like, 2 episodes on YouTube. Or not YouTube, the Disney Channel website, and I watched them there, and I really liked them, and I didn't even recognize some of the greater, like, ongoing story details until, you know, the show ended and I actually got to see the whole thing. And then I was like, oh, there was a whole ongoing story thing. I remember even kind of keeping up with it when it aired on Disney XD, moving from Disney Channel. So it was great. It was a great show, and I love that show. And I still watch that show. So both those shows are equally important to me for kind of similar reasons, but also different reasons. So I felt like there was no other way I couldn't really put them on the list. So I had to put both. But now we're going to do number one. This is another tie, but they're in the same show, and that's kind of why I have to put them as a tie. David Henry and Selena Gomez. I don't. This is my favorite Disney Channel show, Wizards of Waverly Place. I still talk about the reboot. That's still ongoing. Season 3 is coming out at some point. I think they're shooting it right now. Yeah, this show was special to me, and I really, it was kind of this weird thing where I wasn't really the age that grew up with Wizards of Waverly Place because I think it had ended by the time I was old enough to start watching Disney Channel because I was like a teenager. Like after this show ended, so because I was born in 2003, so I guess it would have been airing while I was little, but I wasn't the right age to be watching it. But Wizards of Waverly Place was such a big show that they were still airing it way after it ended. In fact, they made a sequel movie in 2017, I believe. I did not watch that movie till recently, by the way. Awful movie. But I remember seeing that Wizards of Waverly Place movie on Disney Channel multiple times. I remember that, and I remember when we got Netflix for the first time, and Netflix used to have Disney content. That's right. There was a time, if you're watching this now or in the future, I guess, where Netflix used to have Disney Channel content and Disney content because Netflix wasn't competing with 50 different streaming services. There was only Netflix. And Wizards of Waverly Place is the one I binge watched the most, and I had a great time. And it's the one that I still watch from time to time or even think about. It's also one of those shows that I don't watch a lot anymore. Every once in a while I'll think about a certain episode or whatever, but it's kind of special to me, and I always had a sort of crush, like a lot of people, on Selena Gomez, but she's married now, so it's okay. She'll notice me eventually. Joking. But and I also want to make sure I gave David Henry his credit. I mean, he was a equal part of that show. They're both equally important to that show, and they both meant a lot to me. And he's doing great things at the reboot, and I like everything that they've been able to do. So I'm not here to hate on anybody. So yeah. Let me know your thoughts, like, share, and subscribe.